Yes, it's Jumani, also known as Jubian Watchner, is always Arsenal. Now, we are officially out of the League Cup, the Carabao Cup, after losing 3-1 against Brighton. Of course, it was our last home game before the World Cup, so disappointing for the fans who actually attended the game. But the reality is, we are out of the Carabao Cup opening match, our opening fixture in the Carabao Cup, and disappointing results. But let me just get to the starting lineup. Of course, we started with a totally reshuffled team. A debut, I believe, for Hein in goal. Hein or Heen? How you pronounce his name? I'm too sure, you know. And of course, Cedric right back position, Saliba centre back with Holding, Tierney left back. We had El Neni Lokonga in the midfield with Vieira, Marquinhos, Nelson across the attacking midfield, and Nketiah on top. Now, we started with Nketiah scoring in just about halfway through the first half, and all should have been well. Now, of course, I'm listening to this the commentary because the game was unavailable. Apparently, the Arsenal versus Brighton game was not one of the few cup games to be televised, and so I had to listen to it. I had to listen to the audio. But we scored, and say, all right, this is a B and a half team, but Brighton got back into the game, and of course, our keeper made an error. Welbeck capitalized, and then they scored again 2-1. And when we started to bring on our players like the Jesus and the Martinelli and the we brought on Gabriel in the back, we started to bring on our players, Zinchenko and all, Xhaka. And I thought, all right, we will probably squeeze in a draw and try to at least win the game. But no, they scored a third goal, courtesy an assist from Billy Gilmore into Lamptey, and Lamptey scored 3-1, and that was the end of the game basically. So the reality is, it's a good thing for us because I find that League Cup, I mean, I like to play and see Arsenal play as a matter of fact. But reality is, with this season in particular, with the World Cup coming in the middle, the Carabao Cup kind of irrelevant. You know what I mean? It's kind of unnecessary. And I'm not saying that because we lost, but the reality is it's really kind of unnecessary, especially in this season where players going to be out there in the World Cup and so on. So we out of the cup. Unfortunately, I don't like to lose. But the reality, though, is our substitutes, apart from like the core three players who we rotate ever so often, the Tierney, the Tomiyasu, of course, Nketiah comes on a few times. But the reality is, we cannot shift our team or shuffle our team so much and expect to get any kind of result, because the reality is we don't have that kind of quality in terms of depth. So we lost against Brighton, who actually is playing some good football, and we have one more game before the World Cup, which is against Wolves, and we definitely would be playing our starting lineup to maintain the top of the table position going into that World Cup, which takes place in a few weeks. So unfortunately, we had to pull out some of our players to come out on the pitch to try to recover the victory or try to get a victory. I find that was kind of off. It was kind of off. I think if we started with those players, we should have just maintained those players and still give other players a chance rather than bringing on Jesus, bringing on Martinelli, bringing on Zinchenko. It looked desperate. You know what I mean? So it didn't work out today. We're out of the Carabao Cup, and we're looking forward to Wolves on the weekend, where we could beat Wolves and maintain top position in the English Premier League. Because watch now, is always Arsenal. Yikes.